Ethan Kade had everything, a world that bowed before him, with power, wealth, and success. The CEO of Kade Dynamics, a company now valued at over $100 billion. Ethan was a man who had climbed from nothing to the heights of industry. To the outside world, he was untouchable, a titan of business, an icon. But no matter how many skyscrapers he built, no matter how much his company expanded, the shadow of his past was always there, lingering in the corners of his mind. Gregory Morrow, the boy who tormented him in school, the bully whose cruelty haunted his every memory, was a ghost Ethan could never outrun. Gregory had shaped so much of Ethan's pain, and no matter how successful he became, that pain refused to let go. It had been years since Ethan left that small town. Years since he buried the boy who once made him feel small. But some wounds run too deep to ever heal completely. And then, on a day just like any other, as Ethan sat in his high-rise office overlooking the city, his phone buzzed, breaking the silence of his thoughts. The name that flashed on the screen was one he never expected to see again: Thomas Morrow. The name hit him like a punch to the gut. Gregory's father, the man who had been absent for most of Ethan's childhood. The man who had never stepped in when his son crossed the line, when Gregory's bullying became unbearable. The man who, in some twisted way, was as responsible for the pain Ethan endured as Gregory himself. Ethan's hand hesitated over the phone, staring at the name. His stomach churned as his mind raced. Why now? Why after all these years? The call lingered on the screen for what felt like an eternity before Ethan's fingers, almost against his will, accepted the call. Asterisk. Ring, ring. Ethan, I know it's been a long time, but I need you to listen. It's about Gregory. Asterisk. Ethan's fingers tighten around the phone, the weight of Thomas's words heavy in the air. For a moment, it feels like the ground beneath him shifts. Thomas's voice trembles as he speaks. There's a rawness to it, a heaviness that comes from years of regret, a lifetime of failing his son. It's a voice full of guilt, the kind that only comes after witnessing someone you love destroy themselves, and yet unable to stop it. Ethan listens, his pulse quickening, his mind racing. Thomas is telling him about Gregory's downfall, and the details hit like waves crashing against a rock. Ethan, I know it's been a long time, but I need you to listen. Gregory he's lost. A failed business venture, debts piling up, the weight of all his mistakes crushing him. I've watched him spiral, watched him tear himself apart, and I couldn't stop it. But now, I'm asking you for something different. Please help him. He needs someone like you. Ethan's breath catches in his throat. The words hit him harder than he expected. Gregory, the boy who had tormented him for so long now, stands before him in a completely different light. Not as the villain, but as someone broken, someone in need. But can Ethan really help the man who had ruined his childhood? Ethan's mind races. He tries to process the request, the shock of it all. Gregory, the person who had made him feel small, who had broken him in so many ways, now needed his help. The irony isn't lost on him. For years, Ethan wanted nothing more than to see Gregory suffer for what he had done to him. But now, a different kind of compassion stirs within him. His mind flashes back to the past, the harsh words, the laughter, the feeling of being pushed down. Gregory's face in his memories is still full of cruelty. But now in the present, all Ethan can hear is Thomas's pleading voice. Could it be true? Could the man who once ruined his life really be this vulnerable? The question gnaws at him until finally he decides. He agrees to meet. Ethan stands in front of the mirror, his reflection staring back at him, a man who has spent years building an empire, but still haunted by a child's fear. He takes one last deep breath and walks out of his office. As Ethan enters the small, dimly lit cafe, the air feels thick with tension. Thomas Morrow is sitting at a corner table, his posture slumped, his once strong and imposing figure, now diminished by time. His eyes are filled with years of regret, his hands wringing a napkin as though it could somehow cleanse him of his failures. The room feels cold, even though it's warm outside. For a moment, Ethan hesitates. The man sitting across from him is not just the father of his tormentor, he is also a reflection of everything Ethan hated growing up. But something else stirs inside him too. Compassion, or just curiosity, he doesn't know. But he knows that. He's here now, and that can't be ignored. As I sit down, a part of me wants to tell Thomas I can't do this. I can't listen to this man beg for help when he's the reason my childhood was filled with pain. But then, I look into his eyes that are full of regret, eyes that have witnessed the consequences of the cruelty he let his son carry out. Ethan steps into the small, modest cafe, its warm lighting doing little to cut through the tension in the air. He scans the room, then spots Thomas Morrow sitting by the window. The years have not been kind to him. His clothes are threadbare, worn from time and regret. His face, once sharp and proud, now carries the heavy lines of guilt, as if the weight of his own failures had taken its toll. As Ethan walks toward the table, his steps slow. The space between them feels vast, as though the entire weight of the past is gathered around them, closing in on the table like an unseen force. When he sits down across from Thomas, neither of them speaks at first. The silence is deafening, thick with years of unspoken words, painful memories, and unresolved anger. It's not just a meeting, it's a reckoning. Gregory ... He never knew how to deal with the pain, Ethan. He was angry, so angry all the time. He took it out on you, and I failed him. I failed both of you. Ethan's chest tightens, a familiar fire igniting inside him. Gregory's bullying had once crushed him, made him feel so small. But now hearing Thomas's words, it's like a floodgate opens, and all the old emotions rush back in a mix of rage, betrayal, and hurt. He never expected to hear this from Gregory's father. But there it is, a confession that stirs something deep within Ethan, a conflict he's been running from for years. Anger rises in me, but it's not just about what Gregory did anymore. Thomas is sitting here, confessing, asking for forgiveness, and for a moment, I can't decide if I want to punch him in the face or hear him out. This man, this father, who let his son torment me, is now speaking with the kind of regret that makes me feel ... guilty. It's not about Gregory's cruelty anymore. It's about how his father failed him, failed both of us. Ethan's mind races as he tries to process what he's hearing. Thomas's admission feels like the weight of 1,000 unanswered questions finally being spoken. Gregory was angry because he was hurting, but that doesn't excuse the torment he caused. It doesn't erase the years of pain that Ethan carried, hidden beneath a mask of success and power. But in that moment, something inside Ethan begins to shift. Those words, I failed him, they hit me harder than anything Gregory ever said. For a second, I see Thomas not just as the father of my bully, but as a man broken by his own failure, carrying a weight that has haunted him for years. And for a brief moment, I almost feel sorry for him, almost. But then I remember the years of bullying, the shame, the torment. And I realize that this moment, this conversation, isn't just about Thomas seeking redemption, it's about me too. I've spent years hating Gregory, hating him for what he did to me. But now I have to decide, can I forgive him, or is that even possible? I don't have an answer. Not yet, but I know one thing for sure. This meeting is no longer just about Gregory. It's about confronting the past, understanding it, and figuring out what comes next. The air in the cafe feels thick with unspoken words, but neither man speaks. For a long moment, the only sound is the distant hum of conversations from the other tables. Ethan can't shake the feeling that he's been asked to carry something. He wasn't prepared for this weight of forgiveness and the emotional toll of his past that's been thrust upon him. But no matter how much he wants to turn and walk away, something holds him there. He looks at Thomas, a man who, for all intents and purposes, should be a stranger to him. But in the quiet of the cafe, Ethan sees something more. A father who hasn't been able to protect his son, a man who failed him in ways that words can't undo. I want to leave. I want to walk out that door and pretend none of this ever happened. But I can't. I'm not the same person I was when I was a kid. I've been fighting for my life, building this empire, this world of mine. But deep down, something is gnawing at me. Am I going to let the past define me? Or am I strong enough to move beyond it? Thomas's voice breaks the silence again, and this time, it's quieter, more vulnerable than before. He's asking for help, not for Gregory, but for himself. And for the first time, Ethan sees a different side of the man who once seemed so distant, so unreachable. Ethan, I don't know what else to do. I'm out of options. Gregory is running out of time. I've tried to fix this, but I can't do it alone. Please, help me help him. The desperation in Thomas's eyes is hard to ignore. It's the same desperation I saw in myself, all those years ago, when I was trapped in that cycle of hurt and anger. I can't believe I'm actually considering this. But I can't look at Thomas and pretend I don't understand what he's going through. Gregory's mistakes don't erase the fact that he's a human being, someone who has fallen, just like I did. Ethan looks down at his hands, the same hands that have built an empire, the same hands that have fought for every inch of success he's ever had, the same hands that now feel the weight of something he didn't ask for. But if Gregory needs help, maybe it's time to stop seeing him as the monster from my past. Maybe it's time to see him as the man he could be, as a man who deserves a chance to rebuild. But can I really be the one to offer that? Can I really help the person who made my life hell? The question hangs between them, unspoken but felt by both men. The emotional tug-of-war within Ethan continues, but then something shifts. It's subtle. A decision begins to form in his mind. I can't forget what he did. I can't erase the pain of those years. But if I don't offer him a way out, if I don't help him find redemption, then what does that make me? How can I move forward if I can't even give Gregory the chance to change? Ethan looks up, meeting Thomas's gaze. It's a long moment before he speaks, but when he does, his voice is steady. It's a decision, one that he knows will change everything. I'll do it. I'll meet with Gregory. I don't know if I can fix him, but I can give him a chance to fix himself. But know this, Thomas. If he screws this up, there's no turning back. Not for me, not for him. Thomas's eyes soften, a look of relief flooding his features. It's a quiet moment of connection between two men who have both been scarred by the same tragedy, yet have walked different paths. Thank you. You're giving him the one thing I couldn't. A chance. That's all I ever wanted for him. I just ... I never knew how to make it right. Ethan stands up, the weight of the decision pressing on him, but something in his heart feels lighter. He doesn't know if helping Gregory will fix anything, but he knows one thing for sure. He won't be a prisoner to his past anymore. This is his chance to move forward, to heal not just himself, but possibly even Gregory. He leaves the cafe with a sense of purpose, but also a lingering unease. The meeting with Gregory is inevitable. But what will it cost him? And what will Gregory say when they finally face each other? Ethan doesn't know. But he's ready to find out. The next day, Ethan arrives at the address Gregory had given him. The building is old, run down, a stark contrast to the $100 billion empire Ethan has built. But as he steps out of his car and walks toward the door, it's not the building that matters. It's what happens next. The past, the pain, the years of torment, all of it comes rushing back as the door opens, and Ethan sees Gregory standing there. He's not the same cocky, arrogant boy Ethan remembers. He looks older, worn out, a shadow of the person he once was. Gregory looks at him for a long moment before speaking, his voice rough. I never thought you'd actually show up, Ethan. I figured you'd leave me hanging ... again. Ethan holds Gregory's gaze, feeling something shift in him, an understanding, a connection that was never there before. This wasn't the bully anymore. This was a man who had lost everything. I don't know what I expected from Gregory, but it wasn't this. I expected resentment, bitterness, hell, maybe even anger. But all I saw was someone just like me. Someone who had made mistakes and now, maybe, was looking for a way out. They stand there in silence for a few moments, neither of them sure how to break the ice. But then, Gregory speaks again, this time softer, almost as if he's trying to explain himself. I was angry, Ethan. I didn't know how to deal with it. The pain ... the shame, so I hurt you. I thought maybe, just maybe, it would make me feel better. But it didn't, and I regret it. I can't take it back, but I want to try. I want to make things right. Ethan stands still, processing Gregory's words. The walls between them, those walls that took years to build, begin to crumble. And in the space between those crumbling walls, there's the possibility of something more than just forgiveness. There's the chance for healing. But does he want it? Does he have it in him? I don't know if I can forgive you, Gregory. I don't know if I can ever forget what you did to me. But one thing I know is this. I can give you a chance to show me the man you've become, not the kid who broke me. Days pass, and the tension between Ethan and Gregory starts to shift. At first, their meetings are awkward, filled with small talk and moments of silence. Ethan watches Gregory closely, not sure what to make of the man who had once made him feel like nothing. But as time goes on, he begins to see something different in Gregory: vulnerability, humility, and a desire to change. Gregory doesn't try to hide from the past anymore. He doesn't make excuses. He owns his mistakes. And as strange as it feels, Ethan begins to feel something he never expected: hope. Maybe, just maybe, Gregory could be the man Ethan always wanted him to be. Maybe this was the redemption story Ethan needed to witness. I've been giving him a chance, but I'm still watching. I'm not sure if I believe in redemption yet. But what I see in Gregory is different from what I expected. He's not the same boy who tormented me. I don't know if it's too late for him, but it's never too late for me. The days turn into weeks, and Ethan begins to see a new side of Gregory. He's working hard, making amends wherever possible, and surprisingly, helping Ethan with the ongoing business issues. It's clear he's not trying to escape the pain anymore. He's not trying to hide. As Ethan begins to trust Gregory more, there's a part of him that wonders if he truly knows the full story. Does Gregory know the depth of the damage he's caused? The pain he's inflicted on others, especially Ethan? But it's not just about Ethan anymore. The truth about Gregory begins to unravel in surprising ways, and Ethan finds himself in a position he never imagined, questioning everything he thought he knew. One day, while they're reviewing some old company records, Ethan stumbles across a family letter handwritten, dated years ago, from Gregory's mother. The letter reveals a family secret that changes everything Ethan thought he knew about Gregory's upbringing and the environment that shaped him. I find the letter by accident. The handwriting is familiar: Gregory's mother's handwriting. She wrote about the struggles Gregory faced growing up, the abuse, the toxic family dynamics that turned him into the person he was. And there, it is the piece I was missing. Gregory's past isn't just filled with anger. It's filled with pain, pain that no child should have to carry. The letter speaks of a father who was absent, emotionally cold, a mother who couldn't protect her son, and the emotional chaos that plagued their home. Suddenly, Ethan starts to see Gregory not just as a bully, but as someone who is a product of his own brokenness. This changes everything. Gregory's actions weren't just the result of teenage rebellion or anger. They were the result of years of neglect, of a broken home. And now I feel a new wave of sympathy for him. It doesn't make what he did to me any less painful, but it helps me understand why he was the way he was. One evening, after a long day of work, Ethan and Gregory sit together in the company lounge. The city lights glitter outside, and for the first time, they're not talking about business or past grudges. The conversation turns somewhere more personal, something neither of them expected. Gregory's voice trembles as he speaks, his walls coming down for the first time. He shares the weight of his childhood, the pain of never feeling good enough, and the anger that festered inside him for years. I hated myself back then. I didn't know how to deal with it. And I know I hurt you, Ethan. I was too blind to see that I wasn't just pushing you away. I was pushing away the only person who could have helped me. For the first time, I see him not as the bully I once knew, but as a man who's carried that hurt all his life. A man who's been so broken by his own pain that he's lashed out at the world around him, including me. It's a painful realization. Gregory's eyes are downcast, and for the first time in years, Ethan sees someone vulnerable, someone who's finally owning up to his mistakes. And for Ethan, it's a turning point. Maybe, just maybe, there's a way forward. Maybe redemption is possible. For both of them. Weeks pass, and with every passing day, Gregory's commitment to change becomes more evident. He doesn't shy away from the hard work, he embraces it. But just as things seem to be falling into place, Ethan faces a new challenge, one that will test the strength of the trust he's building with Gregory. A new business deal threatens the future of Kade Dynamics. Ethan must decide, take a risk and trust Gregory to handle it, or follow his instincts and take the matter into his own hands. The tension is high. Gregory knows this is his moment to prove himself, to show that the man sitting in front of Ethan today is not the same person who tormented him years ago. This is the test. Can I really trust Gregory? Can I let go of the past and believe that the man in front of me is capable of doing what it takes to move us forward? Or am I just setting myself up for another fall? Gregory stands before him, his face serious, his resolve clear. You don't have to do this alone, Ethan. Let me prove to you that I can help. This is my shot at redemption. Don't take it from me. Ethan looks at Gregory for a long moment, the weight of everything they've been through hanging in the air. And then finally, Ethan makes his choice. With the deal on the line, Gregory steps up and proves himself. Kade Dynamics survives the crisis stronger than ever, and Ethan begins to see that Gregory is no longer the boy who tormented him. He's a man who has found his way back from the brink. It's a moment of reckoning, a full circle from the angry, cruel boy to the man who's willing to fight for a second chance. And for Ethan, it's a reminder that redemption is not a straight path, but a series of moments where you choose to rise above the past. The months pass, and Kade Dynamics begins to thrive in ways Ethan never imagined. Gregory, once the source of his deepest pain, has now become one of his most trusted allies. He's not just a man seeking forgiveness, he's a man who has earned it, step by step. Ethan watches as Gregory takes on more responsibility, leading initiatives, meeting with clients, and slowly proving to everyone around him that he's more than just the mistakes of his past. The company is growing, and with it, so are they. Both men have learned something from the battles they've fought, from the forgiveness they've had to offer, and from the risks they've taken together. There was a time when I never thought I'd see Gregory as anything other than the bully who made my life miserable. But now I see him differently. He's not perfect, but he's trying. He's working harder than anyone to prove that people can change, that even the darkest past can be overcome. Gregory doesn't just work for me, he works for us. There's a newfound respect between them now, one that wasn't there before. Gregory's redemption is as much about his hard work as it is about Ethan's willingness to let go of the past. It's not forgiveness that fixes things, it's action. One night, after a long day at the office, Ethan and Gregory find themselves at a quiet bar. The city lights twinkle through the windows, and the hum of conversations fills the air. But tonight, the conversation between them is different. It's more than just business or redemption. It's about trust, growth, and new beginnings. Gregory leans back in his chair, looking at Ethan with a sense of contentment that hasn't been there before. He's no longer the angry man who once sought power through control. He's a man who has learned to rebuild himself brick by brick. "I never thought I'd be here, Ethan. I thought I was too far gone. But you gave me a chance, and for that, I'll be forever grateful. I want to show you, not just with words, but with everything I do, that I'm a man worth trusting. I'm a man who won't let you down." Ethan nods, his mind reflecting on everything that's happened, the battles, the pain, the trust that was earned. For the first time, he doesn't feel like he's carrying the weight of the past. Instead, he feels a sense of peace. In a way, Gregory's redemption has become mine too. It's taught me that forgiveness isn't about excusing the past. It's about choosing to move forward, to build something new. And now here we are, side by side, ready to take on whatever comes next. But as the night goes on, Ethan's thoughts turn inward. He knows that there's still more work to be done. Gregory's journey is far from over, and so is his own. But for the first time in a long time, Ethan feels hopeful, not just about the future of his company, but about the future of their friendship. Weeks pass, and just when it seems like everything is falling into place, a new crisis emerges. A major corporate rival, Victor Heil, begins launching a series of attacks on Kade Dynamics. Holly Capital is trying to dismantle everything Ethan has worked for, and the pressure is mounting. Ethan is faced with a choice: fight back or give up. But this time, he doesn't make the decision alone. He turns to Gregory, the man who once made him feel powerless. Gregory steps up, ready to fight for the company, for the future they've built together. Ethan's trust in him is complete now. The stakes have never been higher. Kade Dynamics is on the edge, and I know that if we don't stand together, we'll lose everything. But something has changed. Gregory's not the same man he used to be. He's fighting for something more now. He's fighting for us, for our future. The final showdown between Ethan, Gregory, and Victor Halle takes place in the boardroom, where the power dynamics shift. It's not just about the numbers anymore. It's about fighting for what's right, for everything they've built. The battle is long, but in the end, Kade Dynamics prevails. Victor Hale's attacks are foiled, and his hold on the company is shattered. As Ethan watches Halle being escorted out by security, he feels a sense of relief wash over him. This isn't just a business victory. It's a personal triumph, the culmination of years of struggle, pain, and growth. I didn't do this alone. Gregory didn't do this alone. We did this together. And that's what matters. We've turned something dark into something light. We've turned a past full of regret into a future full of possibility. In the weeks that follow, Ethan watches as Kade Dynamics begins to soar higher than ever before. Gregory is now an integral part of the company, his redemption complete. And for the first time in his life, Ethan feels free from the past, free from the anger and pain that once held him hostage. As Ethan looks out at the city skyline, the sun sets, casting a warm glow across the horizon. The battle has been won, but the real journey has just begun. Ethan knows that this isn't just the end of one chapter. It's the beginning of a new story. A story where the past doesn't define them, where redemption isn't just a word, but a reality they've built together. The future is ours. Now, Gregory, we've rebuilt not just this company, but ourselves. And together, there's nothing we can't face. As the screen fades to black, we see a new dawn rising for Kade Dynamics, a company built on second chances, trust, and the strength to rise again. Ethan and Gregory, once enemies, now stand together as brothers in arms, ready to face whatever challenges lie ahead. Sometimes, the hardest battles are the ones we fight within ourselves. But it's through those battles that we discover who we really are. Redemption isn't just about fixing the past. It's about the courage to choose a better future. And as I stand here today, I know that the future is bright. For me, for Gregory, and for Kade Dynamics. It's a meeting that should have never happened. A billionaire CEO, once tormented as a child by his schoolyard bully, now on top of the world, running a $100 billion empire. But fate has a way of bringing the past back, and for Ethan Kade, that means facing the father of the man who made his childhood a nightmare. What happens when the man who bullied you for years stands in front of you, broken, and asks for your help? When the person who tore you down now needs you to rebuild him, get ready. What you're about to hear will change everything you thought you knew about revenge, forgiveness, and the price of success. Ethan Kade had everything: power, wealth, respect. He ran Kade Dynamics, a company valued at over $100 billion. But behind the polished suits and executive meetings, something still haunted him: the memory of a childhood bully who once made him question his worth. The boy who laughed as Ethan stumbled on the playground. The boy who tormented him day after day, leaving scars that no money or success could heal. Now, years later, Ethan is standing at the top of his game. Yet, that painful past still lingers in the corners of his mind. He thought he had buried it all, until today, when the phone rings and a voice from his past reappears. Not Gregory, but Thomas Morrow, Gregory's father. A meeting is set. What Thomas has to say will shake the foundations of Ethan's world. What started as a business rivalry is now a battle of redemption, and the stakes are higher than Ethan ever imagined. Asterisk. The morning after the gala, Ethan steps into his high-rise office, the weight of $100 billion resting on his shoulders. The empire he built with his blood, sweat, and tears. The world is his, but in the back of his mind, there's always been a shadow, a name, a face. The boy who made his life hell in school, Gregory Morrow. Ethan sits behind his desk, staring at the city below, but his thoughts are far away. Then, the phone rings. The name on the caller ID is unfamiliar: Thomas Morrow. Ethan freezes, his hand hovering over the receiver, unsure whether to pick up. The seconds tick by, each one heavier than the last. When he finally answers, the voice on the other end is calm, almost pleading. "Ethan, I know it's been a long time, but I need your help. It's about Gregory." Just hearing the name sends a cold shiver through Ethan's spine. Gregory Morrow, the boy who humiliated him for years. The person who left scars deep enough that not even all the success in the world could erase them. Thomas continues, his voice trembling slightly, as if carrying a burden he can no longer bear alone. "Gregory's in trouble. I can't fix this. I've tried. But I know you, Ethan. You've always been the stronger one. I need you to meet with him. He needs help. And I need you to understand the truth." Ethan clenches his fist, his jaw tight. His mind races, torn between the pain of his past and the man he's become today. His first instinct is to say no, to shut the door on a chapter he thought he had closed forever. But something stops him. Maybe it's the memory of a bullied child, desperate for justice. Or maybe, just maybe, it's the man who he's become. He can't let it go, not yet. Ethan agrees to meet, though every part of him screams to walk away. What would it feel like to look into Gregory's eyes now, knowing he's the one who turned Ethan's life upside down? But as Ethan prepares to leave, one question lingers. What does Thomas want from him? And why now, after all these years? The coffee shop is nearly empty when Ethan walks in. His eyes scan the room. And there, sitting by the window, is Thomas Morrow. Time has taken its toll on him. He looks older, smaller, more human than the man Ethan remembered. And sitting next to him, almost as a shadow, Ethan spots an old photo of a much younger Gregory, smiling carefree. The image hits him harder than he expected. Ethan walks toward the table, and as Thomas looks up, there's a moment of silent recognition between them. A silence so heavy that it fills the entire room. Thomas stands, offering his hand. Ethan hesitates, then shakes it. The handshake feels strange, unnatural. This is the man whose son made my life a living nightmare. This is the man who failed to protect me, and now he's here, asking me for help. Thomas motions for Ethan to sit, but there's no rush. This meeting is about more than business. It's about years of pain and years of silence. You don't have to forgive him, Ethan, but I need you to hear me out. Gregory's not the same person he was when you were in school. He's not the monster you think he is. He's broken. He's lost. Ethan's eyes narrow, disbelief mixing with a hard knot in his stomach. What could I possibly hear that would make me see Gregory as anything but the person who tortured me? But Thomas doesn't stop. He leans in, his voice lower now, almost pleading. You think Gregory's the villain? You're wrong. He was a product of his environment, Ethan. I didn't know how to raise him. I didn't know how to love him, and I failed. We both failed. The words sting more than they should. Ethan feels the weight of the years pressing down on him. His heart races as memories flood back, memories of fear, loneliness, and rage. But then Thomas says something that changes everything. It's not just Gregory, Ethan. It's me. I failed him. And now I'm asking you for help. Because you're the only one who can fix this. If Gregory's going to have a chance, it has to be with you. Asterisk, the room is still. The only sound is the hum of the refrigerator behind the counter, the low clink of cups being cleaned. In the sink. For a moment, everything fades except the two men sitting across from each other. Two men tied by years of history, pain, and unresolved tension. Ethan leans forward, his hands clasped on the table. His breath is shallow, his mind reeling. Thomas's words keep bouncing around in his head. It feels impossible to process, yet the weight of his father's words feels undeniable. Could Gregory's cruelty have been born from a broken home? Was he just a boy desperate for attention? But that doesn't change the pain he caused Ethan. I want to scream at him. Tell him all the things I never could back then. Tell him that nothing excuses what Gregory did to me. But something in Thomas's eyes stops me. There's a vulnerability there, a rawness, a pain of his own. It's the first time I've seen it. And it makes me wonder if all these years he's been trying to make up for the damage Gregory caused, even though it was his fault too. The truth hangs between them. Ethan looks at Thomas, the older man's face crinkled with years of regret and guilt, and asks the question that's been gnawing at him. What does Gregory want from me now? After all these years, why reach out to me? I'm not his savior, Thomas. Thomas lets out a long, painful sigh. His hands tremble slightly as he folds the napkin on the table. He's not just asking for forgiveness for Gregory, he's asking for forgiveness for himself. Gregory, he's not who you think he is. After everything, he's fallen so far, Ethan. He reached out to me after a failed business venture, after losing everything he built. He's tried to fix things, but he's made enemies in all the wrong places. I need you to see the truth. Gregory's not a villain. He's a man broken by his own actions, and he's asking for help. Ethan's mind races. He's never looked at Gregory as a human being, only as a monster who made his life a living hell. And now, hearing Thomas speak with such raw emotion, he feels the tiniest sliver of compassion. Could it be possible that Gregory was just a product of a toxic environment? But how much of that could explain the torment? It's a twisted kind of logic, a way of justifying cruelty by painting it as a product of circumstance. But the truth is, Gregory hurt me, and he doesn't get a free pass just because he had a bad childhood. It's not that easy. Ethan stands abruptly, his chair scraping loudly against the floor. He's agitated, his emotions swaying between anger and confusion. "So what do you want from me, Thomas? You want me to just forgive him? To just forget everything that happened?" Thomas stands too, his eyes locking with Ethan's. The air between them is thick with unsaid words. But then Thomas does something unexpected. He steps closer, his voice soft, almost pleading. "I'm not asking you to forget Ethan. I'm asking you to see him as no longer a bully, but a man who never had a chance. I failed him, and now I'm asking you to help me save him." Ethan's face softens, but only for a moment. There's a part of him that wants to walk away, to refuse, to let the past remain buried. But there's another part of him, the part that was never truly healed, that feels something shift inside him. Ethan walks away from the meeting, the weight of Thomas's words still heavy on his shoulders. The city seems to blur as he heads to his car. But the meeting with Thomas lingers. In the back of his mind, a single question keeps playing over and over. Should I help Gregory? The answer isn't simple. He can't just forgive everything that happened. He can't pretend the pain is erased. But at the same time, there's a part of him, maybe the part that's still that vulnerable bullied child, that wants to offer Gregory a chance to redeem himself. ETHAN, voiceover, "The man who made me feel small is asking for a second chance. But I don't know if I can give it. Part of me wants to shut the door, to walk away. But something's different. Now I'm different. Maybe it's time I learned what it means to give someone a second chance, even if I never got one myself." Ethan stands at his office window, watching the city lights flicker in the distance. His mind is still wrestling with the decision. He reaches for his phone, scrolling through his contacts, his finger hovering over Gregory's name. He's ready to close the door, just press the delete button, and move on. But then his mind drifts to Thomas's face. His pleading, regretful eyes. "I wasn't the only one who suffered. He did too. Gregory didn't just bully me. He was looking for control in a world that was already out of his hands. And now he's lost everything. I can't let him drown in that." Ethan takes a deep breath, his thumb tapping the screen. He sends a message to Gregory. And just like that, the door cracks open. The past may never be fully erased. But maybe, just maybe, there's a chance for healing. The next day, Ethan and Gregory meet again. This time, the setting is different. Gregory's apartment. It's small, rundown, but it's honest. And for the first time, Ethan sees Gregory as a man, not the bully from his past. He's tired. He's broken, and he's waiting for someone to believe in him. Gregory looks up as Ethan enters. His expression is guarded, but his eyes are filled with something new: vulnerability, regret, hope. "I didn't expect you to come, but I'll take whatever chance you're willing to give me." Ethan sits across from Gregory, the room heavy with years of pain. For a long moment, neither of them speaks. The silence is thick, but there's something almost peaceful about it. It's as if both men are standing at the edge of something new. Ethan stands at his office window, watching the city lights flicker in the distance. His mind is still wrestling with the decision. He reaches for his phone, scrolling through his contacts, his finger hovering over Gregory's name. He's ready to close the door, just press the delete button, and move on. But then his mind drifts to Thomas's face. His pleading, regretful eyes. ETAN, voiceover. "I wasn't the only one who suffered. He did too. Gregory didn't just bully me. He was looking for control in a world that was already out of his hands. And now he's lost everything. I can't let him drown in that." Ethan takes a deep breath, his thumb tapping the screen. He sends a message to Gregory. Text message: "Ethan, let's talk." And just like that, the door cracks open. The past may never be fully erased, but maybe, just maybe, there's a chance for healing. The next day, Ethan and Gregory meet again. This time, the setting is different. Gregory's apartment. It's small, rundown, but it's honest. And for the first time, Ethan sees Gregory as a man, not the bully from his past. He's tired. He's broken, and he's waiting for someone to believe in him. Gregory looks up as Ethan enters. His expression is guarded, but his eyes are filled with something new: vulnerability, regret, hope. "I didn't expect you to come, but I'll take whatever chance you're willing to give me." Ethan sits across from Gregory, the room heavy with years of pain. For a long moment, neither of them speaks. The silence is thick, but there's something almost peaceful about it. It's as if both men are standing at the edge of something new. Asterisk, a few weeks pass. The office atmosphere has shifted, and so has the dynamic between Ethan and Gregory. There's a fragile peace between them, built on shared moments of awkward silence and tentative understanding. Gregory now spends his days at the office, slowly gaining trust, his presence no longer a source of tension, but a sign of something bigger at play. Ethan watches him closely, unsure whether this second chance will be enough. Every day, Gregory shows up, ready to work, to prove he's worth the second chance I gave him. But a part of me still wonders, can a man like him ever truly change? Can he undo the damage he caused to so many, or is he forever chained to his past? Ethan steps into the office building one morning to see Gregory standing by the window, looking out over the city, lost in thought. His posture is different, calmer, more thoughtful. It's a change Ethan has noticed over the past few weeks. Gregory is not the same arrogant boy from school. He's trying, and for the first time. Ethan sees that. "Ethan, how are you holding up, Gregory?" "Gregory, one day at a time. I'm not going to lie, it's hard. I don't know if I'll ever forgive myself for what I did. But I'm trying to live up to what you've given me. I won't let this chance slip away." Ethan nods, a quiet understanding between them. For the first time, he sees Gregory not as a reminder of his painful past, but as someone trying to be better. Just as the office starts to feel like a place of redemption and second chances, a storm brews on the horizon. Victor Hale, the man who Ethan once considered a friend, is back in the picture. Hale's company, Hale Capital, is on the warpath, circling Kade Dynamics like a vulture. And this time, the threat is real. Hale's been quiet, but I knew it was only a matter of time before he made his move. He's a shark, and sharks don't just swim, they hunt. And when they hunt, they take no prisoners. Ethan gets a call from his corporate security head, Dev Patel, who informs him that Hale is preparing to launch a hostile takeover. He's already been digging into Kade Dynamics, threatening to expose some old skeletons from their past. DEV, Ethan. They're getting closer. Hale's trying to drag us into the dirt. He's got leverage on us, and it's all tied to the early days of Kade Dynamics. Ethan, I won't let him, not again. The team scrambles. Layla works overtime drafting a public relations strategy, while Myra uses every connection she has to get legal support. But it's Gregory, of all people, who offers the most unexpected suggestion. "Gregory, you've been playing it safe, Ethan. Sometimes to win a war, you have to step into the fire. It's time to fight back head-on." Ethan stares at Gregory, stunned by his boldness. Could this be the same man who once destroyed his self-esteem? The same man who caused so much pain in his life? The battle begins. Hale Capital strikes first, dropping a bombshell press release accusing Kade Dynamics of financial malpractice and illegal market practices. The headlines explode. The stock plummets, and Ethan's world tilts once again. But this time, Ethan doesn't back down. He stands tall. His CEO instincts kick in the fight for his company. His legacy is personal now. It's more than just business. It's about the battle for everything he's built. ETAN, voiceover. It's not just the company, it's my life. The legacy I've spent years building is on the line. And this time, I'll go to any lengths to protect it. With Gregory by his side, Ethan prepares for the ultimate showdown. with Victor Hale. But as the tension rises, so do the revelations. A private investigator hired by Kade Dynamics uncovers shocking footage of Victor Hale and Mira in a private meeting years ago, discussing how to weaken Kade Dynamics from the inside. The pieces fall into place. Mira, the woman, who had been Ethan's most trusted ally, had been secretly working with Hale all along, feeding him confidential information, sabotaging the company. Ethan is shaken, unable to process the betrayal. The woman he trusted, who he thought was part of his inner circle, was playing both sides. And now, the truth is out. Asterisk. In the dead of night, Ethan stands outside the corporate headquarters, watching as the building lights flicker. The world feels heavy on his shoulders, the weight of betrayal and trust pulling him in different directions. But there's one thing he knows for sure: he can't let Hale win. He won't. Gregory arrives, walking up next to Ethan in the cold night air. They share a quiet moment, standing together, facing the future. Gregory, you've got this, Ethan. We've got this. You fight for what's yours. You always have. ETHAN. And this time, I'll make sure it's not just for me. It's for the people who trusted me. For the future of Kade Dynamics. As Ethan steps into the building, ready for the final confrontation with Hale, he realizes that the fight isn't just for Kade Dynamics anymore. It's for his own redemption. For the past he couldn't forget. And the future he's determined to create. The battle rages on in the boardroom, in the courtroom, and behind the scenes. But as the dust begins to settle, Ethan knows that the price of success isn't just about money or power. It's about the people you trust, the relationships you build, and the strength to stand tall, even when the world seems to be crumbling around you. The truth about Gregory and Mira is exposed to the public. The media buzzes with the story. Hale's influence starts to wane as the truth of his manipulations comes to light. It wasn't just about the company. It was about the man I became, the choices I made, the people who believed in me. Gregory stands by Ethan's side, proving that even the most broken people can rise again. But there's still one question lingering in Ethan's mind: can he ever truly forgive the past? And if he can, what comes next? Months pass. Kade Dynamics is back on top, stronger than ever. Ethan stands at the helm, ready to lead his company into the future. But this time, it's not just about business. It's about healing the wounds of the past and finding peace in the present. Gregory, now an integral part of the company, stands by Ethan's side as they look out over the skyline. It's a new dawn, a new chapter for both of them. Together, they've learned that success isn't measured in dollars or stocks. It's measured in the strength of relationships, the power of second chances, and the courage to face the past head-on. The real victory isn't in beating Hale. It's in what you choose to do with the pieces left behind. And this is just the beginning.